ぐるぐるぐるぐる回り続ける。
Spinning, spinning, spinning endlessly.
人の心は花びらのよう。
Human hearts were like flower petals.
風向き次第でくるりころりと気分を変える。
They twisted, turned, and tumbled freely, as unpredictable as the wind.
裏切られた女は災いの花園にて叫んだ。
The betrayed woman screamed from the blooming field of misfortune.
いつか必ず奴らに報いを。
One day I'll have my revenge. After that needless commotion, I went back to checking the results of my experiments. My eyes stayed fixed as I extended my arm out for a meal, and there was nothing there. A few seconds passed, but I still felt nothing in my hand. When I shifted my gaze to the side, I saw an open space with no one around. The girl who handed me my food, without my needing to say a word, wasn't here.
ああ、そうか。
Ah, that's right. She hadn't returned to the Institute after I showed her who I truly was.
一度あの利便性に慣れてしまうと、自分で用意するのが面倒だな。
It's pain going back to how things were, especially after seeing how useful she was. Saraz, come back! He's eating bread off the floor again. With no other option, I reached down to pick up some bread from the floor when... Okay, I'm taking a photo of this, posting on Twitter, and confirming my bread floor suspicions. Alright, Scien eats bread off the floor. Confirmed. Yeah. Where's the picture? There it is. Alright, confirmed he eats bread off the floor. Oh, this guy, I swear. With no other choice, I reached down to pick up some bread from the floor when... Oh, the riots. I heard commotion and footsteps outside. Director Scien, we have a problem. One of my subordinates cut into my system screen.
なんだ騒がしい。 俺はしばらく部屋にこもると通達しておいただろうが。
What's all the commotion? I thought I told everyone I'm not to be disturbed while working.
申し訳ありません。ですがこれはもう私たちではどうしようもなくて。
I'm very sorry, but this is something we simply can't handle ourselves.
突然事前の連絡もなく訪れた王族の一人が
One of the royals had arrived without advance notice and
無理やり装置を操作して自分のリライバーを作成しようとしてるんです。
he's trying to create a reliver of himself. He wants us to activate the devices. Okay, so not the protest. Not yet. Here we go again. I can't seem to get my mind off Scien. I still needed time to think about how I should face him. I found myself here, unable to settle my mind ever since I woke up this morning. I really didn't know why I came here. But it's unprofessional of me to take days off without letting him know. I guess I'll just ask how Scien's doing and maybe leave a message for him. I convinced myself and headed into the institutes. In my hand was my usual baskets. A basket stuffed with sandwiches, which I made without much thought. Sandwiches just for him. I entered and found myself greeted, not by one of the staff, but rather an unusual sound of destruction, unfitting of Mystical's technology housed here. I looked around, wondering what was going on. There was a huge crowd of people gathered around one of the devices that contained the backup data of the people of the country. In the crowd, I found...
貴様ら、よりにもよって尊き王族の血を引く閣下の命を軽んじるとは。
Heathens, how dare you spit upon the royal blood of his royal highness?
よほど不敬罪で牢獄につながれたいようだな。
I see you all wish to find yourselves in the dungeon for treason. In the laboratory was a member of the Royal Guard, which was rarely ever let inside.
いえ、決してそのようなことは。我らはアルペシエールに揺るがぬ忠誠を誓っております。
Please, you're mistaken. We're loyal followers of upper child nobility.
しかし、我々も所長の許可なくリライバー化の順番を覆すわけには。
But we're also unable to change the waiting list of relivers without the director's permission.
シアンブロフィアーズのこまめがマニュアル通りの対応しかできんのか。
You mean that loud Scien profiles? So we can only follow a manual, I see. The man pressuring the researchers was rubbing his rounded stomach. Is he? Yeah, let's not let ourselves be seen. That I feel like that's a bad idea. I hid behind a door, observing the situation from a distance. He has the royal guard at his command. And that soldier just called him Highness. It couldn't be. I'd never seen one of the royals before. I heard they were all early relivers, who regularly extended their lives since technology was born. Why was a royal barely seen outside the castle in a place like this?
それに閣下の現在の肉体はまだ呪いに蝕まれていない健康体のはずでは。
But, Your Highness, the records show that your body is still in good health and not yet affected by the curse.
アップデートされたシステムとやらでより優れた肉体を作り出すために決まっているだろう。
Isn't it obvious I came to create a better body using this updated system of yours? I see. I felt bothered by his reasoning. Reliver technology is meant to extend a person's life, not be used on a whim. Of course, I understood there were people who had priority, like Scien. Compared to us normal citizens, it made sense that the royal family would have more frequent backups. It seemed the researchers weren't able to do anything out of fear of defying his unreasonable demand.
閣下の願いとあらば、我らとしてもぜひ叶えたいのですが。
We would love to obey your command, Your Highness, but
緊急時以外のバックアップないしリライバー化は、たとえ王族であろうとも例外は認めず、確定した新生順を最優先にと所長も。
our director strictly forbids us from changing the waitlist, even for the royal family, except in emergency situations.
貴様ら、私よりもシアンブロフィアーズの命令を優先するというのか。
How dare you? Are you telling me that Scien Brofiz's orders come ahead of mine? The Royal Guard soldier drew their sword and pointed them at the researcher's throat. Huh? That was completely uncalled for. It was possible he didn't have a backup yet. As she shook while trying to explain his reasoning.
申し訳ありません、閣下。一階の研究者の身で言葉が過ぎました。
I'm truly sorry, Your Highness. Forgive my lowly status as a researcher.
ですが、現在すべての装置にはすでに申請者が生産準備に入っておりまして。
All the devices are currently in preparation for production according to the current list.
そんなもの中断すればいい話だろう。
And terminate the whole thing. The researcher looked stunned as the royal walked past him toward a floating orb in the room. I already knew that inside was a new life, waiting for the right time to awaken. What's he trying to do? He's gonna destroy it. I had a bad feeling about this. The man spread his hand open. One of the soldiers next to him handed him his sword, scabbard and all. He drew the sword out of the scabbard without a thought, then stared at the blade. It couldn't be. Everyone immediately knew what he was going to do.
閣下、まさか。
Your Highness!
なーに、実験体を一人消費したところであの悪魔も口を出さんだろう。
Now I doubt the demon would care about losing one of his measly test subjects.
どうせ培養機くらいなら壊したところでいくらでも予備はあるのだろう。
I assume you all have a sufficient amount of incubators to spare anyway.
その席を私に譲れることを光栄に思いながら行け。どこの誰とも知れぬ下船の輩が。
Whoever this commoner may be will be honored to know that they perished to open a space for me. No, they won't. Boo, royal family, you suck. The man from the royal family stood in front of the tank, then raised the sword up high. Stop. Stop! I quickly ran toward the man before he could swing the sword down. Please stop! I jumped on the man's arm to push down.
なんだ貴様はこの私を一体誰だと
How dare you? Don't you know who I am? I don't care. The soldiers around us quickly drew their swords and pointed them at me. But I didn't have time to be scared. I understand how rude I am. I will accept my punishment later. But please put the sword down. The person in there is someone who spent their entire life to earn money, needed to extend their life. The researchers all went pale as they saw me use force against a royal family. There was only one person who could actually go up against a royal family. Someone else trying to fight them will only lead to the inevitable. I knew that very well from experience, from hearing what happened to others. Even so, this man was born to rule and protect this country and its people. I tried to convince myself with all my might that he would actually listen, but...
うせろ汚らわしい小娘が
Be gone, filthy woman. Bitch. I felt a sharp slap across my cheek. The powerful blow made my vision flicker, and before I knew it, I was on the floor. It took me a few seconds to realize that one of the soldiers had punched me.
貴様の処分は新しい肉体を得た後に下す
I will sentence you once I obtain my new body. The sword I had pushed down was raised high once again. Stop! My attempt to stop him ended in futility. The growing life I didn't know. I heard it shatter in an instant. In place of that person's scream was an inorganic alarm. The broken shell let out a clear liquid, but all that came out. But that was all that came out. Meaning. The clone body being prepared for a future reliver passed away before the process was complete. Back up. The backup. Where's their memory and genes backed up? I somehow struggled to get up and quickly questioned the researcher next to me.
残ってない。もうクローン体に記憶をダウンロードした後だったんだ。
It's gone. The backup was already downloaded into the clone. Okay, so they're gone for good, this person. Dang, it's like it's someone we knew. What if? What if? But... what if it was Lucas's? Because we all know Lucas, like, at the beginning of the game, we saw him coughing. Implying that he's close to his, it's close to his time. So what if this was his? Probably not, because it's not quite time, I don't think. But I mean, there's still a what if. But... in other words, it was too late. The person inside didn't die from the curse. Instead, they died because a member of the royal family saw his life as more important. This is horrible.
よし、これで席が一つ空いたな。 さっさと中のゴミを片付けて、私にリライバー化の処置を施せ。
Good, an empty space. Now hurry up and clean the thing to prepare for my reliver process.
早くしろ。閣下の言う通りにしないか。
Hurry it up! His Highness commands it. The soldier accepted the sword from him, then took a few steps to pressure the researchers. But no one was able to react properly after seeing the tragedy unfold.
何をしている？
Yes! About time you arrived here, Scien. We could have used you a few minutes ago. What's going on here? That voice. I quickly turned around to see Scien, along with a number of researchers behind him. He must have already known, as he looked around with terribly cold eyes. He first looked at the man and his soldiers, then at the broken incubator. Finally, he saw me slouched on the floor.
ああ、シアン殿。わざわざ来てくださったのか。実は今日はシアン殿に頼みたいことがあり出向いたのだ。
Punch him! Punch him, Scien! Punch him! Oh, Lord Scien, you've arrived. I have come to ask you a favor.
リライバーの研究もシアン殿のご尽力により日に日に進んでいると聞いている。
I heard your research on improving the reliver technology has been moving steadily because of your hard work.
そこでちょうど培養機も一つ空いたことだし、私もその恩恵を享受できればと思ってな。
Now that one of the incubators is open, I look forward to enjoying the benefits as well.
お前、今何をした？
You. What did you do? He probably didn't understand why Scien was asking that question. The expression on the royal's face was suddenly struck by surprise. With a sweep of Scien's leg, the royal was thrown off balance and fell flat on the floor. Yes.
いきなり何をするのだ、シアン殿。
What is the meaning of this, Lord Scien? The man slowly tried to get up from the floor with confusion over what was happening. Yes! That's my boy! That's my husband. Scien followed it with a powerful kick straight to the man's head. Stop! Kick him again. Scien kicked his head over and over without a change in expression, then stomped down on it hard. He continued to attack as if he was trying to break the man's skull. I mean, I support this. I support this. Although it's probably not a good thing that he's doing it. I mean, in terms of like societal stuff, not moral. I mean, morally, it's wrong to kick someone in the head. But this guy's a dix. But he's also royal. And apparently highness, meaning he's the king. So then, like, what if he dies? What happens? Who becomes the next king? There's gonna be a whole bunch of political nonsense of who would reign over that, so that would be like a thing if he does die. Everyone in the room, including myself, were in complete shock, unable to say a word.
やめろ。なぜこんなことを。
Stop! Why are you doing this?
わめくな、汚らわしい。
I have issues. Shut up, filth.
いいか、リライバー技術は例外を除けば死を目前にした者にのみ延命として提供するものだ。
Listen carefully. Apart from a few exceptions, reliver technology was made to extend the lives of those on the brink of death.
リライバーとして新たな生を得たいのなら一度死んでもらうか、体の乗り換えが必要になるくらい衰弱してもらうしかない。
If you want a new life as a reliver, you either have to die or get weak to the point that a new body is required. So I'm helping you. I'm giving you what you want. I'm gonna get you a new body. I just need to beat the crap out of you and enjoy it. So just stay still. Just stay still. Let me do my job. Continues beating his head in.
俺はその条件を満たしてやろうとしているだけだ。感謝してほしいもんだね。
Which is why I'm helping you to fulfill one of those criteria. You can thank me later. Scien then kicked the man from the royal family in the stomach as if to finish the job. Kick him in the balls! Kick him in the balls! The blow made the man spit out bile onto the floor. Finally released from the siege, he held his temple to stop the bleeding as he slowly got up.
貴様、王族たるこの私にこんな真似をしていいと思っているのか。
How dare you? Do you think you can get away with doing this to the royal family?
当然だろう。研究の邪魔をするのなら王族だろうが誰だろうが関係ない。ただ排除するだけだ。
Of course. It doesn't matter whether or not you're the royal family. Get in my way and I'll have you terminated.
そうだな。この度の損害の責任としてシステムにお前の遺伝子を永久的にブロックするよう設定してやろうか。
Let me see. I suppose I will place a block on your gene backup in the system to pay for the damage you caused. Which means... if he's placing a block on the system, it sounded like he wouldn't ever let the man upload another backup to create a clone from him from now on. In other words, it was a death sentence. After a few seconds, the stunned royal slowly went pale as he realized what happened. He brought it on himself. Scien didn't joke around. He was already at it, doing something with the system. The man quickly groveled to Scien.
許してくれ。研究を邪魔するつもりはなかったんだ。今より頑丈な肉体が欲しかっただけで。
Forgive me, I didn't mean to get in the way of your research. I simply wanted a better body. You should have waited your turn.
壊してしまった機材も弁償する。生成を邪魔してしまった国民にも何らかの形で損失を補填する。だからそれだけは。
I'll pay for the broken device too. I'll also make amends to whoever was in there in some way, so please.
俺の雑用係を殴ったことは無視か。
Nothing about punching my maid, I see.
何にせよもう決めたことだ。せいぜい残り数年程度の短い命、適当に権威を振り回して好き勝手に生きるといい。
Not that anything would change. Enjoy what little life you have left and throw around that measly power of yours until the end.
そんな。
But... The man's face showed utter despair.
ほら、片付けの邪魔だ。さっさと出ていけ。
Now get out. I need to clean this place. The man got up with his head down and left the laboratory with the royal guard looking on with concern. Now fill the room with clapping and cheers. Because that is what is deserved. The clamor that filled the room quickly fell silent. But that didn't seem to bother Scien at all.
靴が汚れたな。
My shoes are dirty. After finishing whatever was inputting, he tapped the tip of his shoe against the floor to shake off the blood.
お前ら、ぼさっとしてないでさっさと仕事をしろ。
What are you all doing? Hurry up and get back to work.
培養器が一つ壊れてしまったのが痛い。即刻予備の装置に付け替えろ。次のリライバー生成に入る。
We need to replace that broken incubator as soon as possible. So get the spare ready. We'll begin our next run of relivers. Despite his order, the researchers around him simply stood there, holding their breath. It was as though they couldn't move. In front of them were the remains of the incubator, and their eyes were fixed upon what was inside. What are they? I held my cheek as the pain slowly subsided, and turned in the direction they were looking. What's inside? It was a single lump of flesh. Flesh belonging to the life that was ended by the royal family. It must have been because the cloning was halted partway through. It's still alive? What are people doing? Save it! It's still alive, so it can still be saved, right? Oh, well, I don't know if it has his memory stuff in it, so I don't know where they located that. But it's something, so they should be able to do something, right? I guess if not, then they can give it to Donuts, and he can use that for his experiments. Ooh, I think that's what they're gonna do. Because he did say he would need a heart for his experiments with emotion. So as horrible as this is, something good might come out of it. The lump was pulsating and shaking as if communicating something. Even without a brain, it was like the owner of the body was struggling. Struggling to break out and become a reliver. But it's no use.
ち、どいつも役に立たないな。もういい。俺が片付ける。
Everyone here is useless. Fine, I'll take care of it myself. After clicking his tongue, Scien stepped inside the broken incubator by himself. After pulling disposable gloves on his hands, he tried to drag it out. I'll help too. I also put on disposable gloves from nearby and went to help Scien. I grabbed the other side of the bloody mess to help support Scien in lifting it out. I could feel through my gloves the person's pulse slowing.
お優しいことだ。それとも死神は死体を見慣れているか?
How kind of you. Or was death used to seeing dead bodies? Both? One? No. I'm not used to this at all. I'm always afraid of death. I don't like to look at corpses. But I wasn't able to stop that man from breaking the incubator. The result was this person's death. So I want to make amends however I can. If I turn my eyes away from the body now, I'm going to end up hating myself even more. In other words, it was to alleviate my guilt. We ended up carrying the remains and placing them on the corner of the laboratory. It seemed that the body would be taken away like the others. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't able to save you. I covered the body with a sheet so they could pass away in privacy.
所長、外で待っている遺族たちには何と伝えたら?
Director, what should we say to the family waiting outside? Probably not best to ask Scien what to say to the family after their family member died. He's not exactly the most emotional person, obviously. Don't depend on him for this. I'm sure you got it. Ask Donuts. Donut would be a good person to ask.
ありのままを伝えろ。生成途中にアクシデントが発生して死亡してしまったと。
Tell them exactly what happened. Say that an accident occurred during the process and the person died.
しかし、それでは。
But isn't that...
ごまかしたところでどうにもならん。誓約書にも不慮の事故には対応できないと記載されているから問題はない。
There's no use hiding. It's also not a problem, as the pledge does say that we're not liable for unseen incidents.
そうですか。わかりました。
I see. Understood. I'd hate to be that person that has to give the bad news about a family member's death. That job has gotta suck. That has gotta be the worst job ever. The researcher's shoulders drooped as he left to carry out Scien's instructions. The other researchers looked on with perplexed expressions. Scien cracked his neck to loosen his muscles, then turned toward me.
来い。
Follow me. Huh? Scien suddenly grabbed my arm, and without waiting for a reply, dragged me toward the exits. Huh? Wait a moment, Scien? Where are we going? I quickly grabbed what I brought with me. Instead of guiding me, he dragged me out of the laboratory as the researchers looked on in awe. It's dirty again. I was dragged back to Scien's personal room. From amongst a towering pile of belongings, Scien brought out a medicine box. He tended to my injury with skilled hands. I thought he was going to go straight back to his research. Honestly, I kind of thought he was going to ask her immediately to clean up his room. This is really unexpected.
あとはこのテープを貼っておけ。透明だから目立たないはずだ。
Just apply this tape later. It's transparent, so it shouldn't stand out. Tape? It looked like a thin bandage. I'm fine, really. I get hurt a lot anyway.
お前ここがどこなのか分かっていないようだな。その傷口から菌が入って妙な感染症になっても知らんぞ。
You don't know where you are, do you? I'm not going to take responsibility if you get infected by the airborne bacteria here. Because we all know there is a lot of things flying around this room. It's a health hazard. Thank you very much for your offer. I quickly changed my opinion and took the tape from Scien, after which he quickly headed to the corner of the room, quietly. I looked at him from behind and placed the tape across my wound. Wait a minute. He's actually worried about me. Scien? Worried about a maid like me? I touched a piece of tape that I placed across my cheek with a strange sensation running through me.
何変な顔をしている。傷が痛むのならさっさとこれで冷やせ。
We're growing on him. What is it? If the bruise still hurts, put this on to cool it down. Thank you very much. I could only give him my awkward thanks in response to his surprising actions. I looked down and took a few breaths so that I could properly express my gratitude. Huh? Is this? I suddenly remembered why I came here. Seeing the basket filled with sandwiches near my feet. Just before we left the laboratory, I had quickly grabbed the basket since I wasn't sure how long we would be gone. Thank you very much for helping me. I know this isn't much to show my thanks, but this is for you. I picked up the basket and handed it to Scien.
なんだこれは。
It's sandwiches. What's that? What's that? It's been what I've been serving you. I slowly lifted the cover from the basket and confirmed that I had the sandwiches inside. Thank goodness they're safe. I was worried that they would all be a mess after earlier. Then again, I wasn't really sure how hungry he was after all that commotion. But this was about the only thing I could give him now to show my gratitude. Scien looked at the sandwiches inside a basket, then looked at me, and I looked at him.
お前、正気か？
Are you serious? Uh-huh.
前に話したことを忘れたか？それとも見て見ぬふりをするつもりか？まさか、すべて受け入れたとでも？
Did you already forget what I told you? Or are you just turning a blind eye to it? Or perhaps you accept everything? He's very confused. Well, the question he asked me that night came vividly back to mind. His cruel experiments on living humans. Scien said himself that he was a sinner who did all without concern. So why was I still servicing him after seeing who he really was? That was what Scien was asking me now. I don't know what kind of response is correct in Scien's mind, but I need to be as honest as possible. I guess I haven't decided yet. If you're referring to that, then I still haven't decided. I understand why you're doing it, and that it's required to keep the people of this country alive. But at the same time, I also can't forgive you for what you're doing, using them as test subjects even if they're evil criminals.
普通の人間ならそうだろうな。
Unsurprising to hear from a human. Which is why I don't think I can answer whether I want to continue serving you or not. At least until a few minutes ago.
何？
What? For some reason, I was nervous expressing every word. I took another deep breath and made up my mind, placing my hand on my chest. Please let me keep working with you. I gave him my answer. It was true that Scien was conducting horrible experiments in the name of research, but... Scien, you were the first person to extend their hands to the person in the capsule who could no longer become a reliver. Even if it wasn't out of kindness, even if it was only for efficiency's sake, I still look up to you from the bottom of my heart for being so straightforward when it comes to life and death. Which is why I couldn't turn my back on him. Furthermore, I still haven't paid you back the money I owed you. Scien went quiet, hearing my response. Did I just say something I shouldn't have? I'd better come up with a different reason. Perhaps I can say something along the lines of finding the work to challenge? Oh, and I thought your room might get messy like before, and you might not be eating well. The thought made me more restless than afraid, so... He isn't responding. Maybe he's disgusted I'm so outright supporting his experiments? I'm not outright supporting his experiments? I couldn't turn back now, but I could tell I was getting even more confused as I tried to find reason to justify my decision. Oh, and the puzzle! That's right, I want to see that puzzle completed, so I'd like to stay here until the puzzle's done. I said something very personal that had nothing to do with the discussion. I suddenly went pale, realizing what I said. He's going to refuse. No, he's not. I shut my eyes tightly, expecting Scien to sigh and tell me I was fired. But no matter how long I waited, I didn't hear him respond with his cold voice. I slowly opened my eyes. Just as I opened my eyes so I could see, Scien chuckled. Huh? Was he laughing? After seeing me surprised, he calmly headed back to his usual seat. Without a word, he beckoned me over.
ほら、さっさとそのサンドイッチをよこせ。全自動サンドイッチ供給機。
Feed me. Yes, we are the automated sandwich dispenser. We are the ultimate automated sandwich dispenser. Now hurry up and bring me that sandwich, automated sandwich dispenser. He was taking me back? Scien's insulting words slowly sank into my heart. He really was going to take me back. Okay. I was filled with joy the moment I finally understood what happened. I quickly walked over to him with the basket in hand. Here you go. I gave him a sandwich with the same ingredients as when I first made them for him. So, have I been promoted from maid to sandwich dispenser?
Aho.
That's not a promotion. Like that would be considered a promotion. I guess you're right. Scien wasn't showing a different expression from before, but he still accepted the sandwich I handed him. The words he uttered were the coldest and most unfeeling of anyone in the countries, yet they still warmed my heart. I actually have the right to hand Scien the food I prepared. Perhaps it was my ego. I'm probably the only one with that right. I was providing him sustenance so that he could continue his important work. I couldn't be any prouder of myself. Keeping the country's savior alive, one sandwich at a time. Night had arrived. Seaman Revipur had caused a commotion earlier in the day, walked alone from the castle to the institute. The reason was simple. He was heading back to negotiate with Scien about unblocking his reliver rights.
くそ、まだ頭蓋が痛む。シアンめ、このような目に遭わせておいて、本当に私の遺伝子をブロックするとは。
Damn it, my head hurts. Cursed at Scien for treating me like this and blocking my genetic backup.
許してなるものか。あの男、60年前からことごとく我らをコケにしよって。
He won't get away with this. The bastard has been treating us like this for the past 60 years. His frustration towards Scien was at its peak. But no matter how much he pleaded, he would never revive as a reliver again. Because this country's god had deemed it so. Simply seeking absolution for what he had done wouldn't change anything. He knew that very well. Which is why he held his hand in his head. Head in his hands, whatever.
誰だ?
Who's there? Oh, is this Barreau? Because I imagine the whole Barreau thing would still happen. The man from the royal family quickly turned around and looked at the shadow behind the pillar where the voice came from.
誰だお前は。
Who are you? A reliver with beautiful hair appeared. He smiled at Seaman, then pushed a stack of papers in his hands.
なんだこの資料は。研究資料なんかを見ても素人の私には理解できないぞ。
What are these? I can't understand any of this scientific terminology. Seaman's expression suddenly changed the moment he saw the header on the top page.
肺を強化したリライバーの理論書。おい、これは画期的な発明じゃないか。これが実現化すれば寿命も伸びるんじゃ。
Strengthening reliver lens? Wait, this is absolutely innovative. If this is true, then we can live for much longer.
いや、だが私には関係のない話だ。システムにブロックされている私では新たなバージョンのリライバーになれない。
Wait, not that it matters to me now. I can't revive into the new version of the reliver now that I've been blocked in the system. Alright, who's the mystery person? They're giving him ideas. I don't like it. The shadow whispered to the man, saying that Scien Brofis would allow him to relive again, even if he cooperated with his experiments.
なんだと。その程度、いくらでも協力しよう。
Are you serious? I'll provide what you need immediately.
だからすぐに私のクローンを作成しろ。肺が強化されたリライバーとして再び生まれ変わらせてくれ。
So please, you need to make my clone. I want to revive as a reliver with stronger lungs. So I wonder who's the one, like, giving him this information. Some small part of me feels like it's Donut. Because Donut did say he was starting to gain favor with the royal family, and that he would need power in order to push forward his experiments. Maybe this is his doing? Or maybe this is someone just trying to, like, stir things up. A few days passed since Scien promoted me to automated sandwich dispenser. Sorry, taking a picture of this too. I was going about my day as usual. I wonder what kind of sandwich I should make for today. Vegetables are nutritious, but he should have some meat too. I initially began preparing food for my own reasons. But it took on a different meaning now that I knew Scien looked forward to them. Scien was smiling. It wasn't his usual mocking smile, but a very natural one. I guess he feels more comfortable around me now. It'd be so nice if it was true.
セレス、今日も研究所に行くの？
Cerez, are you going to the Institute again today? As I continued with a smile on my face, Mother peeked in and struck up a conversation. Yes, that's my plan. There are a lot of chores I need to take care of.
あの日、研究所から帰ってきたあなたから、あのろくでなしのもとでもう一度働くって聞いたときは、本当に驚いたけど。
I was surprised when you came home that day and told me you were going to work for that bastard again.
やっぱり、親としては複雑ね。
As a parent, I'm conflicted. I'm sorry. And after you spent so much time talking to me about my concerns too.
いいのよ。悩み抜いた末に出した答えなのでしょ？私が口を出すようなことじゃないわ。
It's fine. I have nothing else to say since you made this decision after giving it much thought. Mother sighed and said she was still concerned since it was Scien.
今、研究所がどうかとか聞こえたが。
Are you talking about the institute?
そういえば君、研究所に通っているんだよね。でも今日は行かない方がいいかもしれないよ。
You've been there a lot lately, haven't you? But I don't think you should walk over today. Adolf, Yves. It's our other two boys. Through the door came Adolf after his overnight shift, and Yves peeking in from the side. I stopped my preparations and wiped my hands. What brings you two here? Why shouldn't I go to the Institute today?
例の変死事件がシュディでも起きた。残された遺族がろくな調査をしない国に直接抗議しに行くって噂だ。
There was another unnatural death in Shadows. So the families are going to be rallying to protest the country not doing their job.
お前は前の事件の時に犯人じゃないかって疑われてたんだ。何かあってからじゃ遅いだろ。
You were under suspicion before, so it's risky for you to go near them. There were more deaths? And they weren't caused by Barreau? Seeing me go pale, Mother gently placed her hand on my shoulder.
さすがに、それを聞いたら外出は許可できないわね。
Now that I've heard this, I can't let you go today.
そういう事情があるのなら、あのろくでなしだって休んだところで文句は言わないはずだわ。
I'm sure that good for nothing won't have a problem with you taking a day off for that reason. Okay, but I still can't take a day off without letting him. Just as I was about to finish my sentence, Adolf handed me his corpse transmitter. Scien gave me a list of numbers when I was hired in case I wanted to get in touch with him.
ね、まずはここの電源を
No,
押し
cell
て。
phone. For this world. So it's just an earpiece. First, you turn on the power. I followed Yvez's instructions, and somehow got into contact with an employee at the institute. Inside the institute.
シアンさん、通信機からの連絡です。例の彼女、今日は出勤できないそうですよ。
Scien, we got a transmitter message. Seems like she isn't able to come in today.
そうか。
I see. Scien responded calmly to Dahoot's reports.
もう、相変わらず無関心なんですね。ちょっとは興味を示してあげないと、あの子かわいそうですよ。
Hey, at least sound like you're worried. Poor girl seeing no interest at all from you.
なんでもシュリーの方で、また変死事件が起こったらしいですよ。その影響でゴタゴタしそうだからってことみたいで。
So suicide-like deaths and shadows again. Seems like it's gonna cause a bit of trouble.
変死事件か。
Suicide-like deaths.
この短期間で数度にわたって起きるこの状況。
え？
メモリーの専門家としてお前はどう見る？
We've had a number of deaths within a short span of time. What you take as a memory specialist?
まあ、怪しいなって思いますけど、検視できなければ、それ以上は何とも言えませんよね。
Well, they're all suspicious, but I can't give a solid opinion without performing an autopsy.
あ、もうオチが見えてそうなので教えちゃいますけど、案の定死体の回収はできなかったそうですよ。
I know you're gonna find out soon, but it seems you weren't able to collect those bodies after all.
この衛兵が回収に行ったみたいなんですけど、夜のうちにまたプチッとやられたそう
The
です。
Royal Guard soldiers who went to retrieve them last night were all squished.
やったのはブローカー。あの時死んだのは別人だったということか。
The perpetrator is likely Burrow, meaning the other Burrow was a fake.
どうなんですかね。今回は目撃者がいないので、彼の仕業とは言い切れないような。
Who knows? We can't say for sure who did it because there were no witnesses.
単なる模倣犯かもしれませんし、プロは実は2人いたとか、あり得るかもしれませんよ。
For all we know, it could be a copycat crime. Or maybe there are two murderers around here.
くだらん。
What a pain. Scien scoffed at the notion and headed back to his work when... Voices.
外が騒がしいですね。何かあったんでしょうか？
What's that commotion? It sounds like it's coming from outside. With a raised eyebrow, Tahoot turned on the security system to look outside.
ああ、広場のところに人が大勢集まっているみたいですね。何か騒いでいるっぽいですけど。
Looks like there's a gathering in the square. They look to be making a fuss over something.
すぐに警備兵に対応させろ。騒音は研究の妨げになる。
Send the guards to take care of them. The noise would interrupt my research.
詐欺まがいの欠陥リライバーを作った悪魔の狩猟シアン・ブロヒワーズに鉄槌よ。
Arrest the demonic leaders, Scien Brofis, creator of defective relivers.
シアン・ブロヒワーズに鉄槌よ。
Bring Scien Brofis to justice.
はあ？
After leaving my message at the institutes, Yves, Adolf, and I ended up discussing deaths and what the next course of action would be when I noticed a large amount of people walking noisily in front of the orphanage. Are they going to Cernaval?
例の王族への抗議の集会が始まったんじゃないかな。しばらくはここにいた方がいいかも。
It's probably for the protests they're holding against the royal family. Best you stay here until things are done.
マム、子供たちに表に出ないように言っておいた方がいい。下手したら怪我するかもしれねえ。
Probably a smart move. Mother, you should let the kids know not to go outside. We don't want any of them getting hurt or in trouble.
今様子を見てくるわ。
Yes, let me go talk to them. Mother nodded and left the room. If they're going to protest, that means it'll have some effect on the Institute with the proximity to the castle. I hope Scien doesn't get involved. Hearing a sudden sound, we ran outside to see what was happening. A car sped toward us, almost crashing into the building. And in the driver's seat we saw... I should have known it. I should have known it. Of course it's Mathis. If you hear a car screeching, squealing, and going at the speed of light, there's only one answer. It's Mathis. Run far away. Now kids, never get in the car with Mathis. You could die. Everyone, it's an emergency. But how does he know this? How does he know what's going on? Oh, duh. Wait, no, not duh, because he wasn't the one who grabbed it was Jean. It was around this time that the memory stuff was stolen. Mathis? I saw that he had come alone since Jean was nowhere to be found. He quickly got out and ran out toward us, out of breath.
マティス、そんなに慌ててどうしたの？
Mathis, what happened?
実はシアンさんが大変なんです。
Scien, he's in trouble. Huh?
例の変死事件の犯人ってことにされて、シュディの住民にデモを起こされているんですよ。
He's being pinned as the culprit behind the deaths by the residents in Cheddars in their demonstration. What? Hold on a moment. What are you saying? I thought the protest was to show their dissent toward the royal family.
実は変死事件の被害者が全員リライバーであることが分かったんです。
Well, it seems like everyone found out that those who died were all relivers.
だから国立研究所でわざと血管リライバーを作ったんじゃないかってシアンさんが疑われているんです。
Which is why they're doubting Scien, saying that he purposefully made defective relivers at the Institute. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but I guess I could see where their paranoia comes from. But at the same time... But they don't really know Scien. You see, they just know he works for the Institute, so... It's a conspiracy theory! You can't be serious.
単なる偶然かもしれないってのに、ずいぶん無理な話だな。
That's kind of a reach, considering the evidence could just be coincidence.
しかしセレスを犯人扱いした次はこの国の最高研究者を犯人扱いか。
First they accused Ceres, and now it's the country's top researcher?
まあ単なる抗議活動だし、一研究者を告発しただけでどうにかなるとは思えないけどね。
Well, they're just having a protest. So I doubt blaming a single person would do anything.
そんな抗議活動すぐに収まるよ。心配だけど下手に動いたらシアンさんに迷惑がかかるから、今は黙ってることしかできないから。
I'm sure things will settle down soon. Sure, it's a bit worrying, but taking action might only make matters worse for Scien.
ああ、
I suppose. That does make sense, but I wonder if he really is okay. I really couldn't imagine Scien actually doing anything to cause those deaths. It was true that Scien conducted cruel experiments on the living, but it was hard to believe he would actually involve innocent civilians in his work. If he really needed live bodies for his experiments, he would have used the convicts first. The fact I'm thinking in such a way must mean Scien's thought process is rubbing off on me. Of course I didn't agree with his methods. I was starting to contradict myself. The only thing I could do now was look in the direction of Cernaval and the Institute. Unfortunately, Yves's expectations were wrong, and the protest became worse. What started in Cheddar spread into Coing, and now the whole country was protesting. As for me, I watched from the garden of the orphanage so that I wouldn't get involved. I'm glad you decided to stay, Adolf. The children have all been scared because of the rioting.
昨日の時点でかなりの騒ぎだったからな。まさかここまで大ごとになるとは思わなかったが。
It was bad enough yesterday, but I honestly didn't expect it to get worse. As we continued our conversation, we noticed two figures walking toward us from afar.
おはようございます。お二人とも。
Good morning, everyone.
どうもお久しぶりです。坊ちゃんがどうしてもここに来たいとダダをこねましたので。
It's been quite a while. The master was very adamant about paying you a visit. Hello, Mathis and Jean. It had only been a day since I saw Mathis, but I hadn't seen Jean since I spoke to him at the marsh. After Jean's short greeting, he gave a bottle of wine to Adolf in appreciation for when we were living together. Adolf took the bottle and...
それより今日はどうしたんだ？シュディでまた何かあ
And
っ
he
た
did nothing with it. That's what. So what brings you guys here today? Something happened in Cheddars?
いえ、そういうわけじゃないんですけど、クーネの方も大変なことになっていると聞いて、いても立ってもいられなくなって。
No, not really, but we came because we heard things weren't going so well in Coing.
それに、シュディにいるといろいろ心細くて。
Understandable. And I feel uneasy staying in Cheddars at the moment. It's right next to Cernaval.
坊ちゃん、昨日は一睡もできなかったみたいなんですよ。
The master wasn't able to sleep at all last night. No, my baby could sleep.
だって怖かったし。
You can sleep all you want here, baby. and make room. But it was scary.
あんな広い屋敷で二人きりだと余計にってことか。
Not to mention, there's only the two of you living in the mansion. If things felt dangerous in shadows, then Cernaval must be worse. I really hope Scien is okay. Now that the thought returns, I couldn't seem to get it out of my mind. I approached Jean, hoping he knew a bit more about the situation. Would it be possible for us to go and see Scien?
今ですか？あまりおすすめはできませんね。あの区画は今国内で一番危険ですし。
Do you mean now? I do not recommend that since the district is quite dangerous at present.
たとえ自動車で向かったとしても研究所に入れるとは思いません。
Even with the car, I doubt we can get into the institute. I see.
シアンさんが心配なんですか？
Are you worried about Scien? Yes, I know Scien's strong, and I don't have to worry about him, but... Given the situation, there was no use in saying more, so I decided to leave it at that. Mathis lowered his gaze in thoughts, then quickly raised his head.
行きましょう。
Let's go! I'll drive! Huh?
シアンさんの様子をみんなで見に行きましょう。表からは確かに無理だと思いますけど、裏口からだったら大丈夫じゃないでしょうか。
Let's go and see how Scien is doing. We might not be able to go through the front, but maybe we can get in through the back?
裏口は通信機でダハトさんにお願いすれば場所も教えてもらえるでしょうし。
Then I think Donut would let us know of another entrance if we contacted him through the transmitter.
幸い今回は矛先がシアンさんに向けられているからこっちは自由に動けます。だから
Fortunately for us, the crowds are focused on Scien, so we should be able to move freely. How about it?
どうしたのですか、坊ちゃん。そんな提案をするだなんて珍しい。
What's the matter, Master? It's unusual to hear you suggest something so aggressive.
お前、そもそも抗議活動が怖くてここまで来たんだろ？
It's the other personality coming through, that's all. Don't worry about it. I thought you came here because you were uneasy about the protesters.
怖いのは本当です。でもここに来たのはセレスさんたちが心配だったっていうのもあるんです。
Honestly, I'm scared. But the main reason I came was because I was worried about Ceres.
だから彼女の気持ちがよく分かって。
So I know very well how she feels right now.
きっとシアンさんも心細い思いをしているだろうから励ましに行きたいなって。
I mean, I would kind of disagree with that statement. I don't know if he knows the feeling of helplessness. But, I mean, he did... For our own sake, peace of mind, I think it would be good for us to check up on him. Just saying. Scien must be feeling helpless right now, so I can see why she wants to go and cheer him up. Mathis.
坊ちゃん、ご立派になられて。
Master, you've certainly grown.
気は進まないが、そういうことなら言ってみるか。
I'm not crazy about this idea, but I guess we can give it a shot. Are you sure?
ああ、心配しすぎて変な気苦労をするくらいならさっさと確かめに行った方がいい。
Yeah. Rather than worry yourself sick over him, you might as well do what makes you feel better. We decided to contact Yves and Hugo, along with the other members of the corps, in case something happens. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, everyone, move out of the way. Oh, really? Getting to the Institute went a lot more smoothly than expected.
Hi, Scienさん。お邪魔しますよ。
Hello, Scien. Coming in. Excuse me.
は？
With Yves and Hugo's help, and with Adolf and the others doing their best to calm the protesters outside, we somehow got through the back of the hut. Mathis and Jean were explaining to the guards their business in coming here since the visit was unexpected.
お前、なぜ来た？
Why are you here? He told me as if I should know better, but I was just worried about you, Scien. Walking through the institutes, I sensed the tension was much stronger than usual. The researchers I walked past were irritated by the noise from the protest and seemed to be keeping their own conversations quiet. I hope I'm not getting in your way. But I just couldn't help myself after hearing that people were blaming you for something you didn't do.
それならデマではないぞ。
They're not wrong. Uh-huh?
いやー、実はこんなことになっちゃったのも、うちの研究員からの告発のせいなんですよね。
To be honest, this is happening because one of our researchers ratted us out. Someone turned on you? What did they rat them out against? For? According to Donuts, the Relivers who were found dead turned out to be clones created through Scien's updated system. Oh, I see. So they think it's the updated system that failed, and that's why these people are dying. One of the researchers disclosed it to the people of Cheddars, which led to the protest. It didn't take long to figure out that the person who disclosed the information was someone on Donut's team. Of course. You can't be serious.
あ、もちろんただの偶然ですよ。仮に欠陥があったとしても、意図していなかった不具合の可能性だってありますし。
It was just a coincidence. I mean, even if they were defective, there's always a chance of bugs.
とにかく、シアンさんが変死事件に関わっているという決定的な証拠はありません。状況証拠だけで疑われている感じですね。
In any case, there's no proof that Scien was involved in the weird deaths. So people are only blaming him because of the gossip.
だから、シアンさんがすぐに排除されるとかは絶対にないので、安心してください。
Which is why Scien's not going to be carted away or anything, so you don't have to worry. I see. So that's what he meant by that. Scien, you really need to explain yourself more clearly. He does. He laughed, saying he has said that on purpose.
そもそもリライバーになるための誓約書には、こういった事故やトラブルがあっても文句を言うなと書いてあるはずなんだがな。
In the first place, the pledge does say very clearly that we're not responsible for any accidents or unforeseen issues.
誓約書ちゃんと読んでくれている人って少ないですよね。仮にも命に関わることなのに。
I doubt they really read the fine print in the pledge. Sad considering it has everything to do with their life. Let's put up a huge copy of the pledge. Post, slap it on the front of the institute. Let them read it. Nah, I'll probably just get torn down in a second. I almost felt like I had misjudged the gravity of the situation, seeing how casually they spoke about it. I'm glad to hear you're not involved in what's happening, but the situation still isn't good, is it? Scien was able to stand on the front lines of research because of his extreme talents and the results he obtained. So if people gossiped, even if it was a lie, there was some issue that even he didn't realize.
ダハドさん、ここにいたんですか。
There you are, Donuts. Someone opened the unlocked door, interrupting our conversation. I turned around to see one of the researchers wearing their usual lab coats. Without asking Scien for permission to enter, he walked inside.
ああ、はい。ちょっとシアンさんの月の方を案内してて。
Ah, yes, I was just guiding Cien's hire around and...
何をしているんですか。
What in the world are you doing?
未来の所長がこんなところにいてはいけません。例の件の尻拭いもしなくちゃいけないですし、早く実験室まで来てください。
A future director shouldn't be wasting time here. You need to clean up after that incident, so please hurry to the test room.
え？あ、
Oh, well... Future director? I looked at the Hut, who shook his head vigorously as if to convey that he didn't know what they were talking about. The Hut, you need to disband your whole team. Really, Donuts. Your whole team is full of rebellions. But despite his denial...
ほら、早く!
Now hurry! The man forcefully grabbed Donut's hand and dragged him outside. Just before the door closed, the man glared defiantly at Scien, and then the door shut. There he goes. What did that person mean by future director?
あいつも災難だな。俺をトップから引きずり下ろすための傀儡に仕立て上げられたか。
It seems the poor guy's been made a puppet to drag me down from the top. So then... Scien lazily responded that it was exactly what I suspected.
俺が今までトップでいられたのは完璧な結果を残していたからだ。
I earned my place on top because I was able to achieve great results.
例の非人道的な実験を黙認されていたのもそのため。
Everyone keeps quiet about my experiments because of it too.
だが今回の一件で研究所の中でも俺の研究方針に疑念を抱く者が増えてきた。つまり俺の失脚を望む者にとって好機だ。
But after this incident, people are going to cast doubt on my policies. It's the perfect time for naysayers to plot my downfall.
そうなったら次の所長として適任なのは現状ナンバー2であるダハトしかいないだろう。
Once that happens, the next person to take my position as director would be my number 2, Donuts. Ah.
分かったらお前もしばらくはここへ来なくていい。 俺の雑用係というだけで目の敵にされるぞ。
Now that you know what's happening, you don't need to come here for a while. Sticking with me will only put you at risk. With everything said, Scien quickly went back to working on his usual system screen. Seeing Scien go back to work so naturally like this. Are you sure you're not involved in the deaths?
ああ、一応な。原因に心当たりはあるが、俺自身が引き起こしたものではない。
Yeah, at least for now. I do have a hunch about what's happening, but it's nothing I'm directly involved with. He responded as he continued his work. Uh-huh? You have a hunch?
変死事件についてだ。
In regards to those deaths, yes.
最初から原因自体は分かっていた。リライバーゆえに死亡したというのも間違いではない。
I knew what caused those deaths from the beginning. I also know that those deaths were caused because they were relivers. What do you mean? So when you said you wanted to get back their bodies?
心当たりはあるし予想もできていたが確証はない。だから調べたい。それだけのことだ。
Oh, okay, I see. So that's why. It wasn't just for the sake of experimentation. Well, I mean, it was, but there was a reason for said experimentation. It's merely a hunch. And nothing I can say with conviction, which is why I wanted to check myself, that's all.
結局一つも死体は回収できなかったがな。
But I couldn't get a single body in the end. I see. If you let everyone know that the deaths occurred, we could have prevented them. Why the deaths occurred, we could have prevented them. I hid him in a way that he would know what I was thinking, but he responded that the next royal family would just hide a fact. Or that the royal family would just hide a fact. I can see that, but still. No, I should stop. It's not like Scien caused the deaths, so I should take what I know and leave it at that. But those strange deaths haven't happened since then. So why the politics now? Scien gave an amused scoff as he had a hunch or two about that too.
別派閥の者が俺を失脚させようとしたのかもしれないし、先日のことを根に持った王族が報復のために情報を流したのかもしれない。
Someone from the opposing faction might be trying to drag me down, or maybe the royal family is trying to defame me, as revenge.
王族なら研究員から情報を得ていたとしても不思議はないからな。
Speaking of which, if this is the work of the royal family, it's not surprising they got information from our researchers.
何にせよ、変死事件に関して誰もが納得するような解決方法は持ち合わせていない。
In any case, I don't have a good method to resolve what I believe is the issue behind these deaths.
どちらかというとダハトたちの派閥の専門だからな。
After all, it's more to do with the field that Donuts and his group are working on. Donuts field? Which means... the deaths, their hearts. Does it have something to do with the memory?
国家機密だ。いつか公になる日が来るかもしれんが、今はその時じゃない。
It's a national secret. It may come to light one day, but not now. Okay, I have a little theory. Okay, so as we saw in previously with the what is call it the clone that was in the glass, the egg thing. when it died, or its memory stuff was in it when the thing was broken. So it died. Or wait, no. Now I'm starting to question myself if this is even. Okay, let me think for a second. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but the original thought was that, you know, in Mathis's roots, Jean snuck in and stole a bunch of data, of the memory data. So my thought was that by stealing that memory data and them not having it in their system anymore, that the people with said memories would be the ones who were dying. That was the theory, but I don't know, something about that doesn't fit. Or maybe it does, I don't know, but I would think it would be something like that, so anyway. Scien had an expression that said he likely didn't mind disclosing what he knew, but he also knew it would be hidden away.
どちらにせよ、誰かが介入さえしなければ、ああも一斉に起きるはずがない事件だった。
In any case, those deaths wouldn't have happened at all once like that. Wouldn't have happened all at once like that if it weren't for someone getting involved.
故に本格的にリライバーたちの体がいじられている可能性が高い。
Which is why there's a high probability that someone rigged the Relivers' bodies. So someone working here. Scien turned off the screen, as our conversation must have gone on long enough. Seeing him look at me, I returned his look with one of relief. I'm relieved to hear it. So your experiments had nothing to do with those deaths.
当たり前だろ。仮にやるとしても騒ぎにならないようにやる。
Of course not. And if I wanted to cause death, I would do it in a way that it wouldn't cause a commotion.
少し勘違いしているようだが、俺は無益な犠牲は出さん。悪趣味をあえて人に見せつける思考もない。
Let me correct you just in case. I don't sacrifice others for no reason, and I have no intention of showing off my bad taste.
以前お前に見せた実験も必要だからこそ行い、公にする意味がないから秘匿していた。
The experiments I showed you before are necessary and only kept hidden since there's no point in disclosing my work. I felt a lot better now. Scien was honest and straightforward. Of course, it didn't mean that his heart was honest. It was just that he had logic to back him up. He was fine with becoming a villain as long as he could accomplish his objective. That's just how he works. That's right. He was always like this from the start. He's definitely not a good person, but he would never hide himself. Which was the very reason why I decided to return to Scien.
遅くなって悪い。少し手間取った。
Sorry for being late. That took a while.
表の人たちとの交渉に時間がかかっちゃってね。
It took some talking to negotiate with the people outside.
で、ちゃんと事情は聞けたのか？
So did you learn what you needed? Yes, I was able to talk to him.
どうやってここまで来た？ 研究所のセキュリティはそこまで甘くないはずだが。
How did you people come here? We shouldn't have been able to get past the Institute's security. There is no security.
表の抗議活動を一旦落ち着かせたお礼にラハトが手を回してくれたんです。
And Donna put some strings to repay us for settling the protest crowd outside. Yves innocently showed his pass as he explained how they got access to the lab.
で、結局変死事件の真相はどうだった？シアンの仕業じゃないんだろ？
So what's the truth behind the deaths? It isn't Scien's doing, right? Yes, that's right. It seems someone's pinning the blame on Scien. I quickly explained to the three of them what I heard earlier.
なかなか難しい状況だな。
That's a difficult situation.
特にラハトがシアンさんと一緒に行動しづらいのは困ったね。このままだと孤立してしまうかもしれない。
If Donut's having trouble working with Scien now, at the rate this is going, you're going to be shunned.
何も問題はない。少々動きづらくなる程度だ。
That isn't a problem. If anything, it's a minor inconvenience.
いや、そうは言ってもな。
Yeah, but still. Seeing Hugo's frown, I stated my idea. Is it okay if I stay here a little longer?
は？
Scien's surprised voice was accompanied by everyone's startled expressions. It just scares me. I have a feeling something terrible is going to happen to Scien. So I thought maybe I could continue working for him and keep an eye out on his surroundings.
危険すぎる。いつシアンが襲われるとも限らないんだぞ。
That's too dangerous. There's no telling when Scien's going to be hit.
珍しく同意見だな。それに、お前のような小娘なんてむしろ足手まといになる。
Strange for me to say it, but I have to agree. And having a girl like you around me will only burden me more than necessary.
いや、悪くない案じゃないか。
Wait, that isn't a bad idea.
なんだと？
そもそもあんた、今までも命を狙われてきたんだよな。今回だって絶対狙われるはずだ。
People have been trying to get you this whole time, right? Which means the same will probably happen again.
だったら、護衛はつけておいた方がいい。
It's better if you have someone watching out for you. He's right. There's no telling whether someone might try to poison your food. I did my best to agree with Hugo's reliable supports. Seeing me jump on the opportunity, Adolf let out a huge sigh, as if he knew I wasn't going to change my mind.
なら、食事とか身の回りのことはセレスに監視してもらって、その他の物理的な護衛は俺たちがする。
Alright. Then we'll have Suarez monitor his meals and whatever else, and we'll provide physical security as needed.
そこが落としどころだ。
This is as much as we'll offer. He bent and offered a compromise.
今の状況なら確かにそれが最善だ。殺された時に備えてバックアップを取ったとしても、そのデータごと削除されるだろうしな。
That's fine, considering the situation. Even if I back up my data, there's a chance someone will attempt to delete it entirely.
今ある命を有効に使う必要はある。だが、
I need to use my life in the most efficient way possible, but... That's...
この娘は必要ないだろう。毒味程度なら自分でもできるし、もしもの時に足手まといになる。
She still isn't needed. I can test the food for poison, and worse, she could just get in the way. couldn't argue against him as the memory of being taken hostage by the Hutt's subordinate returned to my mind. Scien did say he was able to fend off the assassins that attacked him before. I guess there really isn't anything I can do to help.
セレスは一緒にいた方がいいと思います。
I think it's best to have Ceres by your side. Just as it was about to give up, Yves finally spoke up from behind. Way to go, Yves. Nice.
もしチアンさんの無実が晴れたとして、民衆が次に原因だと当たるのは死神と呼ばれている彼女でしょ。
If the accusations towards Scien are cleared, the next person the people would suspect will be the person they see as death.
シアンさんの身を守るのと同時に彼女の身も守れるのならいい作戦だと思いますけど。
So I think the idea of her being with you here works since she... Yeah, it works well, since we can protect you and her at the same time. It wasn't an obvious attempt to persuade him. Yves was simply offering a proposal in his usual casual tone. At that, Scien began to think deeply like never before, and after a few seconds of silence...
好きにしろ。
Suit yourself. He nodded nonchalantly. Thank you very much. I'll do my best not to get in your way, Scien. Alright. A new day began, and Adolf and the others began the task of working as bodyguards. And I think we're gonna stop it right here because it has been 7 hours. So yeah, this is me save. Oh, and I'm hungry. I'm actually very hungry. I want a snacky. Probably shouldn't get one because it's 5 a.m., but I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll grab myself some cereal. I don't know. But I'm hungry. I also want to do a puzzle now. But anyway, we made it to chapter 3. Nice. So we're making good progress. We made good progress tonight. We made it from chapter 1 to chapter 3. So yeah, yes. We learned some cool things. We have some nice theories going on. And some I'm pretty sure are conclusive. I mean, haven't been concluded, but are very likely to be correct. But yes, that is going to be where we ended tonight. So thank you for joining me for Virtue Evermore, or Salvation. And I hope to see you again next week when we continue Scien's roots. Hopefully finish it next week. Ideally. So tomorrow is going to be Hakuoki. Oh wait, no, tomorrow is Thursday. So tomorrow I don't have anything necessarily planned. I still haven't decided if I'm going to stream or not tomorrow. But at the current moment I don't have anything planned, but don't be surprised if you see me do a surprise, just suddenly jump on stream and do something, because I might. I was thinking maybe if I do, maybe we'll do a jewelry stream. We haven't done one of those in a while. Maybe we'll do make jewelry with Christmas colors. I want to do something Christmassy. But that would be tomorrow if it does happen. If something does happen. But for now, thanks for joining, hanging out, or listening. And I do hope to see you again. I want this. Help me make this a trend. Help me make this a trend. Help me make a trending TikTok or help me create a TikTok trend where it's the person doing a puzzle and laughing maniacally each time they put a piece in. I'm gonna do that. Help me trend it, okay? Alright. Love y'all. I'll see you later. I'm gonna go get something to eat because I am starving. Alright. Love y'all. Bye-bye.